I'd like to welcome all of you to Origin LGNS. We're going to talk about the power of compounding, and we're going to talk about the consistency of accessing this compounding and the advantage that it can provide you and I. So with that said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, this presentation is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or investment advice. Digital assets and decentralized finance involves risk, including market volatility, smart contract risk, liquidity risk, regulatory uncertainty, and potential loss of capital. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and participants should do their own research and consult a qualified financial professional before making financial decisions. Nothing presented here guarantees income or returns. So I'd like to start with the question, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have a savings account? And of course, most people have savings accounts. And for decades, that's been the safe place to keep money. But today, the average savings account in the United States earns only about 0.4% or 0.6% annual percentage yield, barely keeping up with inflation. In other words, your money is sitting and not working. Now something new has emerged because of advances in financial technology. It's called decentralized finance. Decentralized finance, short for DeFi, is banking without banks. It gives everyday people the ability to earn and grow wealth directly and is powered by code instead of corporations. DeFi introduces a different idea, ladies and gentlemen. Instead of money sitting idle, it can be deployed to compound automatically through blockchain-based financial systems. And for the first time, individuals can access tools once limited to institutions, systems designed to let time, math, and technology work together in our favor. Now, as it relates to institutions, ladies and gentlemen, let me start with something that most people never think about. Every single financial transaction in the world, there is a middleman taking a cut. You go out and buy a cup of coffee with your credit card, and Visa's going to take 2 to 3%. You order something from Amazon, and Amazon's going to take a percentage. You take an Uber or a Lyft, and they're going to keep 25 to 30%. You rent an Airbnb, and they're going to take 14 to 16%. These companies don't create the transaction. They sit between the two parties and they collect a fee. Let's look at some real world numbers. So this was as of May 2025. Up to that date in that year, Coinbase made over $196 million from fees that it charges when people buy and sell crypto. Visa made over $35 billion, MasterCard over $28 billion, and PayPal over $29 billion. That's almost $100 billion from collecting fees, ladies and gentlemen. Every buy, every sell, and every transaction, whether the market goes up, goes down, or sideways. They all figured out the same thing. Stop being the customer and become the infrastructure, because the middleman always wins. Even Uber, whether drivers make money or not, they collect on every trip. Visa doesn't care what you buy, they collect on every purchase. And exchanges don't care if the traders win or lose, they collect on every trade. They're positioned to make money regardless. So here's the real question. How do I get on that side of the equation? How do I stop paying fees and start collecting them? The answer is by becoming the middleman, ladies and gentlemen. And today, technology makes it possible through providing liquidity for digital assets using a protocol called Origin LGNS. We're going to explain to you tonight. This creates the potential for daily income and long-term wealth accumulation. So how does it work exactly? Well, you deposit digital assets into a collective liquidity pool that other traders borrow from to make trades. And every time someone trades using that pool, a small fee is charged. Your assets go from sitting idle to working. So because you put up the funds for the liquidity pool, when that person buys that crypto or sells that crypto, a fee is charged and you earn a percentage of that. That is how the money is earned. It is real business. So I want you to think of it like owning beach property in Miami. All right? Now, you can let it sit empty or you can rent it out and you can get paid. Every week, tenants pay you to use the property. Liquidity pools pay daily, and they work the same way. You're renting out your digital assets. Very simple. Or think of a toll road. It doesn't matter where people are going. You collect a fee every time they pass through, except now you're the middleman. That's the power of liquidity providing, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're talking about tonight. So I'd like to introduce you to Origin LGNS, an innovative, trend-setting Web3 staking protocol powered by decentralized finance. So what makes Origin different? First of all, it is a smart contract. That is computer code that takes the middleman out of the equation. It must do what it's programmed to do, and it has a history of success. Olympus' own project has been running successfully for over 6 years. And Origin LGNS, the project we're talking about today, has been running successfully for over 23 months. And as of today, the project and the community continues to grow. So here's the thing. People lie, but numbers don't. Let's take a look at the numbers. The liquidity pool is over $399 million. The market cap is over $6.64 billion. The daily trading volume, over $38 million, and there are over 1.8 million wallets from individuals all around the world connected and benefiting from this protocol every single day. And the computer code, the smart contract, is verified, is audited, and it is renounced, meaning no one can touch the money. It is locked down. But your funds are not. You can withdraw your money at any time. You have complete liquidity. So now, we believe in trusting, but also verifying. And so the smart contract itself is verified by the largest blockchain security auditor in the world that verifies that that contract is real, ladies and gentlemen. These are the same company that verifies Binance, you might be familiar with them, and Uniswap. So this is the big boys. In addition to that, the Treasury, where the funds are held, that has been audited and verified by the leading firm that does so in the world is called Armors Labs, and all this information is readily available online. All right, so now I'm going to go live on the internet. I hope you've got a pen and a piece of paper because we're going to show you some things live in real time. Stand by. All right, so I am on Dex Tools right now. You can go ahead and write that down, dextools.io. If you come here and you type in LGNS up at the top, it will take you right to the screen that I'm on right now. So we're live on the internet. We can see the current price is $6.18. Now, the value of the coin is going to go up and down, but guess what? That's not our primary focus because we make money when people buy and we make money when people sell because we are the liquidity providers. So no matter what happens in the market, we are earning money, ladies and gentlemen. In addition to that, I want you to see down here that all the numbers I mentioned earlier, you can see the current liquidity, 397 million, the market cap, 6.6 billion, 1.8 million holders, and you can see that this protocol went live on March the 6th, 2024. Now, we've got a lot of third-party resources that verify the things that we are sharing with you are absolutely real, and here is one of them. It's called Avi AI. And what they do is verify smart contracts. They do a deep dive into the contract code in order to identify certain things. And I want you to see all of these green checks, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, the contract is renounced. We talked about that. No one can touch the money. The money is locked down. You notice here it says doesn't look like honeypots. Honeypots are traps that are built in the code in order to take advantage of people. None of that over here. Contract is open source. The owners cannot tamper with the balance. No one can touch the money. It's locked down. They cannot take back ownership. This smart contract literally belongs to the world, just like Bitcoin belongs to the world. You can also see the community trust factor is over 97.7%. And as you get into this more and more, we'll share with you various resources that you can use to verify that this is absolutely real. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to go live into the contract itself right now, and I'm going to show you a few things. So hopefully you've got a pen and a piece of paper out because we're going to be looking at the power of compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world. So first of all, we know that the current value of this coin, as we saw, is $6.18. Now, this specific account has over 1,900 LGNS staked. If you were to divide this number by the current value of the coin, you would see that this account has about $13,000 staked in it. I want to show you what $13,000 staked in this protocol, what that could potentially do for you and your family. I also want you to see the annual percentage yield is over 800%. You remember what the yield was on those savings accounts? 0.4 to 0.6. Now we're talking about over 800%. That means that your staking has the potential to double literally 8 times in 1 year. Now, again, I want to specify everything we're sharing with you is for educational information purposes only. This is not a guarantee of earnings. We can't promise you that by law, but we can show you what the potential is, and you can make a decision based on what you see right now. Okay, so now let's go a little further. So we know this account has $13,000 staked in it, and what is it earning? Well, the net reward yield, next reward yield, is 0.213%, and the 5-day ROI is 3.0631%, right? Now, this compounds 3 times a day. Every 8 hours, it compounds. And so that frequency is very important because that can increase your gains. What I'm going to do right now is copy the number of coins that are staked in this account, and I'm going to put it in a calculator that's built right inside of the system. So I'm going to put it right here, okay? And the first thing I'm going to show you is that you could use this to create income for yourself. Daily income, weekly income, or even monthly income. So let's say you've got $13,000 and it's not producing anything, but you could use some additional income coming in. What could $13,000 staked in this platform potentially do for you and your family? Well, we're going to take a look here. So we have 1,982 coins staked. We know that in 1 month, because of the compounding, that this will grow to 2,373 coins. But again, we also know that that $13,000 would grow to over $14,734. So that's a monthly income of over $1,700, and you didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to talk to anyone. You didn't have to build a team because this is not networking. You didn't even have to log in. But yet you've got access to your funds at all times. You can withdraw all of it or a part of it. It'll be in your wallet within seconds. The only time that you can't touch this money is when you are first onboarding. Those first 16 hours, you can't touch it. But after that, you can touch it and withdraw it at any time that you want to. No lockdown periods. Okay, so let's take a look at something. So if you are earning $1,700 a month, ladies and gentlemen, let's just say for 12 months, how much additional income would that be for you, let's say in 1 year? So I'm going to pull my little calculator out. 1,700 times 12 equals $20,400. So by you staking here, you just created an additional income of over $20,000 for you and your family. You didn't have to talk to anyone. You didn't have to log in. And yet you have access to this money at any time. Emergency comes up, you need money, click the button. It's right there. All you pay is a modest 3% withdrawal fee. Okay? But let's go a little further. So let's just say that you didn't withdraw that $1,700 a month and you let compounding be your ally, because the magic of compounding is that the longer you let it work, the bigger your gains, right? And so let's just say you didn't take out that $1,700 a month and you let that $13,000 compound for an entire year. I want you to see what that could potentially grow to. 6 figures, over $111,000. So let me ask you a question. Would you rather have the 20,400 or the 111,000? That's the power of compounding, and that's your choice. But let's go a little further. Let's just say that you allowed this to compound for an entire year, and then you decided that you were going to live off the earnings or withdraw some of the earnings after the first year. What could that look like? All right, so first thing we're going to do is remember the total of 111,000, and then we're going to take the number of coins and we're going to place them in the calculator. But we're going to go just 1 month, okay? So these are the coins that you earned in 12 months. And then moving forward, let's say you withdraw everything above that 111,000. How much would that be? So that's 111,188. We're going to subtract that from this number, 133,248, and that would give you a monthly income of about $22,000, ladies and gentlemen. $22,060 a month. How long did it take you to do that? It only took you 1 year. What makes this possible? You are now the middleman. What are the advantages? You've got access to your money at all times. You don't have to log in every day. It's up to you. You can compound for as long as you want to. But let's go a little further. Let's just say that perhaps you want to leave an inheritance to your children's children, or you've got some other major goals. Suppose you allowed this to compound, ladies and gentlemen, for 2 years. All right. So if you were to do that, let me tell you what will happen. I'm going to back up for a minute and I'm going to show you what I mean. Let's go back to that original amount. So we know this is 13,000. I'm going to put that in here. All right. So we know that 13,000 potentially compounding the way it does can grow to $111,000. Well, suppose you compounded it for another year, 2 years, just 2 years, 2 years that are going to come, and there's nothing we can do about it, right? Let's go ahead and put those 2 years up here. And what could that potentially do for you? Can you see the numbers? We're talking about the potential for life-changing earnings. Now, again, this is not a promise of earnings. It is a potential. I don't know about you, but this is the potential and the type of a playing field that I want to be on. Yes, this is a thing that I want to have the opportunity to go for. And this is one of the reasons why this platform is growing the way it's growing. So hopefully you caught that. We have trainings where we get into details about various ways that you can take advantage of that. So let me leave you with this, ladies and gentlemen. Every transaction in the world has a middleman taking a cut. The question is, will you always pay the fees, or will you position yourself to collect them? Instead of feeding the system, now you and I have the opportunity to become this system. Let me ask you something. What if the real opportunity in digital assets wasn't predicting price, but positioning yourself inside the system that collects the fees? Because the biggest winners in finance aren't traders. It's the platforms, ladies and gentlemen. It's the exchanges. It's the infrastructure. It's the liquidity. And for the first time in history, everyday people like you and I can access that side of the equation. Now imagine this. Instead of just owning digital assets, your assets are working every day, even while you sleep. Instead of watching the markets, you're participating in the engine that powers them. That's the shift. Today isn't about hype, ladies and gentlemen. It's about understanding a system that already exists, and there's almost 2 million people already involved. So if you'd like to learn how to connect your wallet, to access liquidity pools, and to get set up with Origin LGNS step by step, contact the person who introduced you, and they will personally walk you through the process. And we look forward to working with you and celebrating your success.
Yeah, you can pull it.